I'm talking about you have all of these products sitting there, not selling. You could use it as a promotional tool, do it this summer or something. And they've been sitting on it for a year and for 15 months. For 15 months, they've been sitting on this. You're telling me there's no time in the last 15 months they could have did a big promotion with like even 5 of the old Call of Duties or something. And they're looking at their console sales. I don't think they're going to be at 40 million anytime soon based on just the numbers people have come up with. On the high end, people are saying 36 million. I'm estimating closer to 32 million. We don't know where they are, but that's a dangerous place to be in when your competitor is nearing 80 million units sold. So they need the PlayStation sales, but I worry that if they keep going down this path of, you know, there's no red lines. Phil Spencer told me in the interview, he told everybody in the interview, basically, we are going to do more multi-platform games. I do see a lot of conversation online from hardcore Xbox fans who like yelled at me for using the wrong car paint when I did a graphics comparison in IGN, selling their Xboxes and just saying it's all going to come to PlayStation.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, today I got your next dose of the salty batch files, and boy, oh boy, do we have delusion to the umpteenth degree. Do we have those with egg on their face in regards to the tools, waiting for the tools, Assassin's Creed Shadows, how that performs on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and how they just think that Xbox is winning when the console war is basically over. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I was saying, what we're going to do is get right to the salt here. The first one, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since Snap Blast Play has been here. We have a lot of examples, so we're going to go a little quicker on a couple of these, but he's back, and the delusion is still as strong as ever. As you can see here, Xbox still dominates the conversation in 2025. The conversation is that of a laughingstock. The conversation is that of what are they doing? What's their future? What can they muster out of this? And what are we waiting for from this third-party now machine, this third-party now publisher, where all their games, yes, we still have people out there, believe it or not, thinking that all of those first-party Xbox games are not heading to competing platforms. They just don't understand. It's really comical. But yeah, the clowning part here is the fact that they're dominating the conversation in more of a negative way, not of a hype way, not as they're doing something right way. So yes, keep believing that that's a good thing and why they're the piece of the conversation, the table piece, the centerpiece of the fine dining etiquette here. But no, that's not the case. But let's keep moving along here. So as we see here, I just wanted to announce a good brother post up here, the Flat Earther. He's stating, what an incredible gaming community. Shout out to my Connect. I have officially joined PCMR. So yes, now he's gotten this new PC handheld. He is now part of PCMR. It will be interesting to see if our good brother post up here actually utilizes this a little bit more than his Xbox, or if it's just a niche product. And truth be told, this will be interesting. Like I said, let's keep an eye on, see if he shares anything with us in the future here, because as we all know, the hard rumored and most likely going to be true hybrid Xbox handheld that's a partnered piece of hardware is going to come out. Let's see if they just faux pas at this, so to speak, and try to utilize how great that handheld is. But he's going to have this, and we'll see how much he's touched it and utilized it, see if we have any evidence to that, because if not, it's going to be highly suspicious in regards to how well that new Xbox hybrid partnered handheld will end up being, so be on the lookout there. But again, we're going to move right along, tons of examples today. Extension the Catfish, Andrea Piccinini, aka Joseph Cruz, aka The Ultimate Catfish, is back yet again. Here they have a big old diagram stating that, again, the delusion is there. Xbox is winning. As you can see, Xbox is winning. Xbox players are winning. Others are waiting and paying while their brand cancels games. In regards to PlayStation canceling some games we don't even know about yet, on top of factions and stuff like that. They pay we play, and we have a circle graph here. Let's try to break this down and make sense of this real quick. I guess we're starting at the Xbox hat here. No waiting or paying extra. No $70 for games like Indiana Jones. Again, I don't understand why we're shaming people for buying and supporting games and the devs and all that. Seems like an odd flex to me. You're telling people what to do with their money. But let's keep going. And then, of course, we have PS players wait for Xbox games to come to PS5 and pay full price. We're still having the $70 discussion here, right? So before they're saying they can play it on Game Pass, but here they're, again, poking fun that we have to buy products into the hobby that we're utilizing, that we enjoy. Again, weird flex. Going down, Xbox makes profit from PS players. PlayStation also makes profit from PS players and even some Xbox players with some of the games that are over there currently, like MLB The Show, etc., etc. Destiny 2, microtransactions, on and on. But are we really going to do a tit for tat? Because, I mean, they're still getting a portion of that money, whether it be 30% or not. They're still getting a portion of that money. But again, we're not done with the delusional circle here. And then, of course, Xbox invests those profits on developing and bringing more games to Xbox Game Pass. Now, this is the part that's a little shady, a little in the gray area, because we don't know if that's what they're doing. If they are doing that, it may go to Game Pass, but it's also going to those competing platforms. So again, who cares? It's obviously up to people if they want to subscribe to a subscription service where they're renting those games as opposed to buying them. The choice is already there. The game's already there. That needle isn't moving, so this isn't a W. That W isn't going to last long if people aren't buying into that ecosystem appropriately. But again, motion's already been set. They are a third-party, full-party publisher. Say that 10 times fast, right? Then we come back up. Xbox players enjoy games day one on Game Pass, blah, 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 blah. Of course, again, not moving the needle. We're not seeing the incentive here. If we're comparing Indiana Jones to Uncharted, if we're comparing Avowed to anything else that would be similar on the PlayStation experience, that's not comparable either. I mean, the quality is going to be different for everybody. It's subjective, this, that, and the other. Again, ultimately, it's not moving the needle. All these first-party games that Xbox has and are dropping day on date with Game Pass is not moving that needle. Hence, full-on third-party publisher. But you gotta love how they're making that all happen here. But let's move on. Enough of the delusional chart here. Bitch of Truth is back once again. Now this is, I mean, it just continues. The delusion continues. Like, they talk to themselves in these mirrors and think that this is real speak. This is real talk. As you can see here, hear me loud and clear when I say this, with a clap emoji, I guess. Absolutely nobody on this planet owns a PlayStation because they have the best exclusives. My guy. That is exactly why they own a PlayStation, is because they get the butter with the bread. The butter with the bread. The bread is everything. First party, third party, everything in between. Accessories, VR if you want. The bread is there. The butter essentially is the exclusives. That's the butter that goes on the bread that makes everything that much better. And again, we're going to talk about attachment rates and stuff like that. Again, butter's optional. Some people like cinnamon on their toast. Some people like other things on their toast. Essentially, the butter is the exclusives. But let's keep going here. They own them due to force of habit, as that's all they grew up playing. I kind of recall this little thing called Atari. Depending on your age, Atari is what some people grew up playing. Depending on your age, some people played Nintendo Entertainment System, the 8-bit NES system, growing up playing that. Depending on your age, you grew up playing the Sega Genesis across from that, or maybe you had both and you were lucky enough to have both. Or, again, depending on your age, you're growing up playing everything before PlayStation was even around in the 90s. What are you talking about? What delusional reality are you talking about? I don't understand. Nobody was forced or just brought into PlayStation, that's why. If anything, the only one that had a stakeholder's place in the thing, the carbon footprint from day and date, essentially, as I would deem the beginning of gaming, aside from Atari, right, is Nintendo. They made it, they saved gaming, they did this and that. That's who's used to having a Nintendo system. That's why it's a companion piece with the Switch and the Wii and all that stuff, right? That's the companion piece because people are used to it, right? Essentially, that's what's going on. But the delusion is, nah, people just always were kind of forced into PlayStation. That's why they liked it. Bro, I had to choose between a PlayStation 1 and an N64 at the time of release of the 64. I played at both kiosks. The PlayStation won me over. All we had available at the kiosk was Nintendo 64's Mario 64, right? Played that, thought it was great, thought it was unique, thought it was a next step in things. But I did find it odd. Even at my age at that time, I did find it odd they stuck with cartridges. And I kind of knew and heard rumors, rumblings that, CD and disc was the way to go forward for that time being. I played some other games. I played Crash Bandicoot. I played Twisted Metal. I played a few others on those demo kiosks. And that garnered my attention because of the games. All I had was Mario 64, which again was great, unique, but between the controller, that little middle analog, didn't really care for it. It grew on me eventually, but still wasn't my favorite thing. PlayStation won me over that way. The carbon footprint there is Nintendo. I don't know what delusion you're talking about here, but again, we shouldn't be surprised at this point. But again, you end on PlayStation's name is completely irrelevant. How's it completely irrelevant when you said people are grown into that, essentially? Force of habit. So if they're irrelevant, how's it a force of habit? Do you see the hypocrisy in your same statements there? It doesn't make any sense. Completely irrelevant unless mentioning Xbox. And Xbox came out after PlayStation was a thing. But what are you talking about? There's no 100. Get rid of those marks. You're an idiot. You always have been. You always will be. The clout and grift is real with you. And somehow you got followers. I don't know how, but this is absolutely ridiculous. It just speaks to society as a whole. Sometimes it's really disappointing to see stuff like that. But enough on that. Let's move on to the next piece here. What's going on here? So I just wanted to share this with you. I know Matt Piscatella sometimes cherry picks this, that, and the other. But I do want to share this. I mean, the facts are there. As you can see here, this is in regards to some of the past posts I just shared with you all, right? After each platform's first 52 months in market, PlayStation 5 unit sales exceed PlayStation 4's sales pace by 7%. No easy feat. Do not forget, for those of you that might have forgotten, do not forget that PlayStation 5, including Xbox as well, but PlayStation 5 had to muster their way through the pandemic, all right? They were lacking supplies and hardware to even create these consoles. They couldn't keep them in the shelves. I mean, essentially, they couldn't make enough of these, and we're still outpacing the PS4. They're doing something right. All these weirdos, they're doing something right. While Xbox Series now trails Xbox One by 19%. The travesty that was the Xbox One generation, how do you follow up and make a worse generation? Tell me how talented you are as a company to follow the Xbox One generation as bad as it was, and turn around, and fail even more miserably. It sure doesn't help. The Game Pass was a thing, and then you got these clouts, grifters, shills, frauds, all that stuff, doing damage to the brand. And these frauds and shills and grifters, they're like Hydra, right? From MCU, from Marvel in general, they're like Hydra. When one goes away, two more appear in its place. It's really fascinating. But again, I mentioned this in past videos. These frauds, grifters, shills, misinformation spreaders, fake hypers, whatever you want to label them, they do more damage to the brand than help it. If you were just being honest, it's going to go much further. Such is true in life with anything, but they continue to grift because they get those money. They get that super chat. They get this, that, and the other. It hurts the brand, but please continue to do your thing. I'm sure it's going to work out well in the long run, as well as your notoriety later on. But what are we doing? let's get to the next one here. Now, this is going to be in regards to Fighter Champ here. So he has a statement here that obviously can't be far-fetched, right? Imagine owning a PS5 just to play Xbox games. That's a new level of down bad. I don't see anybody out there saying they're owning a PlayStation to play Xbox games only, but okay. Keep making Xbox games number one and paying full price, laughing emoji. Remember when PlayStation fans said Xbox has no games? Now they are all excited to play them, a bunch of laughing emojis. Nobody's excited to play them. If they were, they would have got an Xbox, or they would have played them on the PC. They have PC Game Pass. They have the games on PC. I mean, what are we doing here? And everybody and their dog has some form, whether it's a mid-tier or whatever form of a PC, that they can play these games on. May not be max settings, but they can still play the games on them. I don't know where you're getting this information from. It's more of a laughing, pointing and laughing like your game's over here. We may plat them just for fun because you guys aren't even finishing the games according to achievement history and the stats there. You guys aren't even finishing your games. So as a double entendre, as a point and laugh at you, a lot of PlayStation players are going to be like, yeah, I'll pick it up because A, I'm supporting the devs, the industry, gaming as a whole. That's a good win there. It's not a flex to make fun of somebody for playing those games, buying those games. Like I said, that's not a flex. And the other flex is, though, the real flex is completing those games or getting a platinum, meaning you get every trophy or achievement in that game. Right? Where you guys are not completing these games and they're available to you on your beloved Game Pass and you guys aren't finishing these games. Embarrassing. Embarrassing, Fighter Champ. Do better. Do better. But let's shift over here because now we're talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. And again, regardless of how you feel about the game, all political nonsense to the side here, we're here talking about the performance of the game of Assassin's Creed Shadows and the PlayStation 5 Pro. As you can see here from Crit's successor, he's very upset, 100% convinced they just made the game, the normal PS5 version, crap to trick people into getting PS5 Pro because it's literally the first time one of these comparisons shows an actual difference in regards to Digital Foundry actually showing the differences and that it is a substantial difference on the PS5 Pro. It is a night and day thing, but now they're making excuses here again. As you can see, they're 100% convinced. They're not just speculating. They're 100% convinced they just made a normal PS5 version crap to trick people, like he said, right? You see the delusion there? Do you see the delusion there? Really bizarre, but we're not done there because professional DLC. So the either PS5 was released woefully underpowered or Ubisoft playing something shady. Yes, because there's an under-the-table deal, guys. There's always an under-the-table tactic because they don't want to sell their game on all platforms. They think they're going to sell the most on a PS5 Pro, which is the newest system out that doesn't have the largest install base out there. But yes, they're going to pull underhanded tactics to give a one-up on the PS5 Pro just for clout. What? We all know Ubisoft is looking to set a tone. Ubisoft needs all the help it can get. I assure you that there is no shady practices going on in regards to Ubisoft and how they're treating and building and creating this game. You guys are absolutely insane. It is what it is. You got more powerful hardware in the PS5 Pro that's able to do more than base models of a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. This is going to happen with some games. Not every single game, as you can see, but with some games it can happen if the effort is put in there. There is no crazy conspiracy going on here. We're not done there. We got Eternal Spartan. Making it bad on one system to look better on another and then patting oneself on the back over the, quote, enhanced version is sad. They did not make it bad on one version. As a matter of fact, as powerful as these high-end PCs are still having issues. There's been a lot of people even out there. Even Alex, oh no, it's Alex, is even out there stating this game is having issues because it's not fully optimized for the PC. It's not fully optimized for the PC. So there, even with something powerful, it does have to be optimized to a point, right? It's easier to optimize for consoles in general. So pointing back to, it's not making it bad on the PS5 base model. They're not purposely making it bad on the Xbox Series X model. It just works more fluently on the PS5 Pro model, and they're able to take advantage of that. The PC market, the PCs in general, as you should know, are an open platform. They're an open hardware base where everybody has all sorts of different builds and models and pieces and parts and high power levels to low power levels. They have to make something work in between there. That's why you're going to get all these non-as optimized pieces. Where you have a console, you know what you're working with. Everybody's working with this. This is how this works. If you're still following along and paying attention, how it works is you have a one-base system across millions and millions of users. They know what they have to put together here for those consoles. Okay? The PS5 console still works. It looks great. The Xbox Series X console still works and looks great for its version. And the PS5 Pro model just has extra bells and whistles, and they know what they're working with and how to optimize that. It's of course going to be optimized better for consoles before a PC is optimized. This is not a PC only first port and then getting over to consoles. This is not how that's working. You all should know this. This is absolutely insane to make excuses for this. But I digress. Let's keep going over. We have one more final example. I love to see it. I love to see the foot in the mouth. And here we have two of our favorite grifting frauds and shills and defending Xbox to their last breath here. We have Gaz, because at first they like to poke fun. PS5 Pro owners are now waiting for the tools. PS5 Pro 2026, so apparently they're talking about PSSR, all that good stuff, yada yada. And right below there, as you can already see, Cold Eastwood, that extra $200 had an express delivery. And then again, not too long after this post, guys, that's when we had the Digital Foundry claims here. We went in, Nicholas Lopez, we went the extra mile. One of the devs on the game, for the PS5 Pro and wanted to deliver a meaningful improvement with the extra power. Again, exactly what I stated. They're going to be able to optimize to these consoles in general. And if the console has more power, if Xbox had a mid-gen refresh, you bet your ass they're going to make that more optimized for the mid-gen refresh as well. They're going to put what they can out. They delayed this game multiple times at this point, guys. Probably to work and iron out the bugs on these consoles as much as they could, to give better performance, to get better shaders, all the stuff, right? To just do everything to the best of their ability, because again, hearkening back, Ubisoft needs all the help they can get right now. They've been falling down, foot on their face, whatever the case is, multiple reasons. We've been around there. If you don't know, look it up. This is needed. The sales are needed. There's a lot of publicity around here, good or negative, around Assassin's Creed, especially around Ubisoft. So they want to make sure this is a big hit. Okay? Simple as that. But yeah, as you can see here, down below, if you're not already reading it ahead of time, Assassin's Creed Shadows on PS5 Pro delivers one of the most substantial upgrades we've seen on Sony's enhanced console. They had the link, all that. Assassin's Creed Shadows on PS5 Pro delivers one of the most substantial upgrades we've seen on Sony's enhanced console. Retweeting that, right? It's there. They have these comparisons. It really is a night and day difference. But you see how they try to control the narrative. Gaz, the Colts, and everybody else in the circle, the new grifters and frauds that are coming out from the woodworks left and right, clipping videos like mine, trying to make a point, trying to make everybody else seem like bad guys and evil and this and that. No. Nothing like that's happening. This is literally the truth. How many times do I have to say in these videos? These are not doctored. This is not made up. I'm telling you what's going on. I'm showing you the actual information. It's simple. It's right in front of everybody's faces. It's right here. But what's hiding in sheep's wool among the wolf are the frauds, like Gaz and Alex and everybody in between, Colt. These newfangled frauds and shills and grifters coming out, like I said, they just won't stop. And it's harming the brand ultimately. They look like idiots all the time. PlayStation's not perfect. I've said it multiple times. They're going to fall on their face from time to time. I'm not debating that. I'm not sticking up for that. It happens. But more often than not, they try to shift and change these narratives to make it seem like PlayStation's failing. But the good guys here is Xbox and Game Pass, and rent your games, guys. They're already going full on third party, but don't abandon ship yet. They have this partnered handheld coming out. Don't abandon ship yet. They're coming out with a new console that's coming out in 2027 now, supposedly, and it's going to have a Steam app. That's certainly not going to hurt the Microsoft Store at all. That's certainly not going to cause a bunch of other issues, but there might be a possibility of playing PlayStation games over on that console, so don't abandon ship yet. It's like, do we see the delusion? Do we see the anarchy within itself. It's absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. But folks, we will wrap up the video here. Would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Also, if you would like to, please leave a like. Both of those things do help out the algorithm, of course. If you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself, getting ever so closer to that 3,500 subscriber goal. I know we can get there. This is the truth. It's a grind. This isn't a grift. We're not getting to 10K or so within a couple months because I'm crapping on PlayStation. Easy to do. We're not doing that. We're here to tell the truth, and I appreciate you all along for the ride. So that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and we will see you next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And of course, at the end of the day, don't forget, don't be a salty batch, and we'll see y'all next time. Take care.